Hi, I'm Russ Mitchell, and welcome to the CBS Evening News Online Edition. Just ahead, a freed hostage and the commander who rescued him. Lara Logan has an exclusive look at a deadly raid in Iraq. Also, we'll take you to the first country to stop the sale of gasoline. Why? Because they found a way to replace it. And we'll visit a California town that welcomes illegal immigrants. It's all starting now on the CBS Evening News Online Edition. It has happened before in Iraq. American forces take on the insurgents only to be condemned by one faction or another in Iraq's violent tangle of religious, ethnic, and tribal loyalties. The latest instance involves a joint U.S.-Iraqi operation on Sunday that some claim was an assault on civilian worshippers in a Baghdad mosque. Tonight, Chief Foreign Correspondent Lara Logan has an exclusive insider's account of that raid, and she reports on a vicious attack that happened today.
Gunmen reportedly dressed as police commandos are blamed for this massacre at an electronics store in Baghdad early this morning. It's the latest in a series of attacks and increased sectarian violence here that's often blamed on militias, whose armed fighters have for now overtaken the insurgents as the dominant threat to Iraq's security. But as the outcry over the killing of these men shows, it's a highly charged political issue as well. The U.S. says they were members of a militia responsible for executions and kidnappings, who opened fire on elite Iraqi forces carrying out a raid early Sunday evening. Many Iraqis believe they were innocent worshippers praying in a mosque who were slaughtered by American forces. Today, the Iraqi commander in charge of that raid, whose identity we can't show for security reasons, told CBS News that was a lie.
They say the American used the helicopter and they killed all the civilian male inside the mosque.
And that's not true?
That's not true.
The commander insisted his Iraqi special operations troops had to fight their way into the target building, where they killed gunmen guarding a hostage and found various weapons, including rocket launchers and heavy machine guns.
To your knowledge, this is not a mosque?
We know this is used from captured civilian people and by bad guys, and they need money.
This man is one of the civilian people the commander is referring to. He's the hostage they freed on the raid, who chose to talk to CBS News, even though he was too afraid to show his face. They beat me, they kicked me, and they used an electric drill on me, he said. I thought I was going to die. At one point during the emotional interview, he broke down and had to be comforted. When asked about the militiamen who were holding him, he said he was too terrified to say anything. He told us, if you go to the streets and see all the people who've left their houses, and if you go to the morgue and see all the bodies, then you will understand. The American Special Operations troops who supported the Iraqis on this raid praised both their skill and their restraint. But the continuing problem for the U.S. is the public perception here that what happened Sunday was another crime committed by American forces. Lara Logan, CBS News, Baghdad.
If you think you're paying a lot for gasoline now, just wait. Prices on the futures markets soared today to their highest levels in 6 years. Wouldn't it be nice if one day we did not have to worry about the ups and downs of the gas markets? Well, Trish Regan reports, down in Brazil, that day is just about here.
Here, in the 5th largest country in the world, there's a plan to become free from imported oil. Not in the next 30 years, not even in the next 10, but by the end of this year. That's because while the rest of the world was mapping the human genome, scientists in Brazil were mapping the DNA of sugar in an effort to create a cleaner, cheaper alternative to gasoline called sugarcane ethanol. They succeeded. Brazil's ethanol is about 30% less expensive than gasoline. According to the World Bank, it's 50 cents cheaper per gallon to produce, and although ethanol gets slightly less mileage, it's still cheaper on a per-mile driven basis.
Basically, the way we figure it is that ethanol will be cheaper than gasoline as long as the price of oil is over $45 a barrel.
With oil upwards of $60 a barrel and no relief in sight, scientist William Burnquist predicts ethanol will stay cheaper for some time. Burnquist has researched sugar for more than 20 years at Brazil's Sugarcane Technology Institute.
We started our ethanol program in the 70s because of the oil crisis in the 70s, and so we had to survive.
Survival meant finding a homegrown source of fuel.
We had no money to pay for the import of oil.
In the 1970s, Eduardo Carvalho worked in Brazil's finance ministry. He helped push for government subsidies to help the fledgling sugarcane industry take shape. How good a feeling is that, to know that the country will be energy independent, not reliant on the Middle East at all by the end of this year?
Extremely important. We feel very proud of it.
Beginning in the 1970s, every gas station in Brazil was required to have at least one ethanol pump, and the government mandated all gasoline be mixed with ethanol.
We began to blend increasing quantities of ethanol in our gasoline pool.
But as the ethanol began to replace gasoline, that led to another development, a brand new kind of car. They have cars like this one here that's called a flex vehicle. This actually gives you the option of using a gasoline ethanol blend or 100% ethanol, just depending on whatever is cheaper. Most often here in Sao Paulo, ethanol is the cheapest fuel to use. Today, 7 out of every 10 new vehicles sold in Brazil are flex vehicles, which cost no more than regular cars. The fuel is cheaper, it's cleaner to burn, and with all the positives, you've got to ask, is there any real downside to this fuel?
Yes.
What's that?
The oil industry will
They don't like you?
be able to sell their product. Basically, the people that produce oil, they don't like us because we are getting their markets. It's very simple.
The United States has made inroads on ethanol, but the focus here has been on corn-based ethanol, which is more expensive to process. By any measure, we are still probably decades behind Brazil on this alternative energy front. Russ?
The U.S. Senate opened its debate today over what to do about the millions of immigrants who are in this country illegally. This issue has split communities from coast to coast, especially in places where many immigrants have settled. Tonight, Bill Whitaker wraps up his special series in a Southern California town where immigrants, legal or not, are more than welcome.
Each Sunday, St. Rose of Lima Catholic Church in Maywood, California is packed to the rafters. Father David Velasquez estimates half his congregation entered the U.S. illegally. The church, he says, is a sanctuary.
It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter how they speak, documented or undocumented.
He calls Maywood a political sanctuary. The city is 97% Latino, an estimated half here illegally. The city council passed a resolution opposing the tough immigration bill before Congress, which would make it a felony to cross the border illegally or to aid anyone who does.
But we believe that there's a higher law. There's a law of God and the law of human rights that will not permit us to enforce the type of immigration laws in the city.
And if Congress passes tough immigration reform?
The city of Maywood is not going to cooperate with that law.
You will defy it.
We're going to defy it.
Aguirre is part of a new majority swept onto city council on a wave of Latino discontent. Complaints police targeted immigrants, impounded cars of unlicensed drivers, knowing that immigrants here illegally can't get a California license. Charges police refute.
The city of Costa Mesa, just down the freeway in Orange County, wants police to crack down on illegal immigration. Maywood, just the opposite. The city council eliminated the police traffic division, made it tougher to tow cars of unlicensed drivers.
I think what city council is trying to do is just make a softer approach for the community.
The wrong approach, says Sam Pena, son of Mexican immigrants. The former mayor now is in the minority on city council.
We live in a country that's based on law and order.
Change the laws in Sacramento and Washington, he says. Don't defy them.
To say I'm going to pick and choose the laws that I want to follow and not follow, that's not what I took an oath of office to do.
Aguirre says he knows Maywood's swimming against the national tide, but
we cannot have this situation of a large sector of our population living in close to apartheid conditions. It's a powder keg.
And that, says Father Velasquez, is when sanctuary is needed most. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Maywood, California.
More stories are just a click away, but don't forget to join us on television for the on-air edition of the CBS Evening News. On Thursday's broadcast, it's hard to believe, but it's been 25 years since President Reagan was shot. Michael Deaver was with him on that day and will share his memories. For CBSNews.com, I'm Russ Mitchell.